What's going on, Laker fans? Appreciate you guys tuning in. A quick video here that I want to put up. I know Lakers got the Clippers a little bit later tonight, so I'm going to spend some time talking about the Lakers and the Clippers once the game is done. But I just finished my radio show. There was a lot going on today around the NBA. Just a ton going on today around the NBA, and for me, a lot of conversation, a lot of chatter continuing around the Los Angeles Lakers. So, to be honest with you, I just wanted to do one separate video from whatever the live stream is going to be tonight, reacting to the Lakers Clippers game. And I think this deserves its own time. There was a really, really good article today. Dave McMenamin put out put out an article earlier today. This morning, he did it on the NBA trade deadline. How big of a splash should the Lakers make? And he just kind of walks out there, gives three different options that the Lakers have between now and February 8th, that trade deadline. And I think the article is really good. I think it lays out a lot of different options that I think are all intriguing. And I want to throw out, I want to walk through the article, give Laker fans kind of an opportunity to weigh in and give their own thoughts and their own ideas. And I certainly got my own thoughts and ideas as well. When I find Dave a little bit later today, because I'll see him there at the Lakers-Clippers game, I'm going to tell him that he's got a great article, and this is a good piece of work here. So let's get right into it. There are three options, and I'm going to share the article with you guys so we could look at it together, and we could walk through what exactly are the options that he's laying out there for the Lakers. So let's start off with doing that. I'm going to make it a little bit tighter here. I'll start off here from the top. NBA trade deadline. How big of a splash could the Lakers make? So let's do this. Let's kind of talk about the Lakers situation, which Dave McMenamin does. Let's see. Do I go this way where it's too much me, not enough? No, we're going small. I think the less you guys see of me, everybody gets more excited when they see less of Slee. So let's do that. Where are the Lakers right now? We know exactly where they're sitting. They got the Clippers tonight. They're 22-22. They're number 9 in the Western Conference. I'm going to read a quote here that came after the game on Sunday when the Lakers beat the Portland Trailblazers. What an impressive win against the Blazers. I'm kidding. Nobody take me serious on that. I'm obviously not kidding. The Lakers have put themselves in a tough spot all year long with how they've done, and a Blazers team that is absolutely terrible. Lakers head coach Donovan was asked, does this team have enough to go make a championship run? He said, absolutely. They got Anthony Davis. They got LeBron. We know we have a hell of a 1-2 punch with AD and Bron, and it's just getting comfortable and being aggressive and not waiting for those two guys to do everything. He basically says at the end of the day, he thinks the Los Angeles Lakers have enough. Now, if you ask me and you look at my eyes right here, and I'm looking into that camera, do the Lakers have enough as is? I say no. I don't think they do. I think when you play 44 games in a season, that should give you a big enough sample size to know what you are as a team. And if Anthony Davis has only missed 2 games, Bron's going to miss the game tonight against the Clippers. That's going to be 5 games for him that he's missed all season. Austin Reeves hasn't missed a game all year. D'Lo's only missed a small handful of games. I want to say 4 games. If you're still 22-22 after that, I get it that this team made a run to the Western Conference Finals last season. I get it that it's a team that has LeBron James and Anthony Davis. I'm personally not sold that this roster can make a legitimate run. I'm not surprised or shocked that Darvin Ham would say that absolutely he thinks that they can make a championship run. He's supposed to say that as the head coach. But if you think that front office doesn't have doubts, if you think that head coach doesn't have doubts, I don't know what the hell to tell you. We've been watching the same thing, and I'm not sold on the Los Angeles Lakers. Let's keep going through the article. The article basically starts going through 3 different options that the Lakers have to deal with as far as the rest of the season goes. And I think it's actually kind of fascinating. One option is this. Don't do anything. Stay put. Don't throw money towards something that's probably not going to change the end result. As in, if there's not a move out there that you think that's going to be the difference of now all of a sudden the Lakers are true contenders or the West runs through the Los Angeles Lakers, then why are you going to do it? So let's go through a little bit what he's talking about here. I'm going to skip a little because I think the most important part is coming up right here. He says the Lakers currently have only one future first-round pick available to trade, but starting on the day of the NBA draft, they'll have 3 picks that they can trade, 2031, 2029, and then either 2024 or 2025. It depends on what the Pelicans do. They got the pick swap. The Lakers have discussed, pay attention to this piece right here. The Lakers have discussed internally the possibility of packaging 3 picks along with players they already have on their books to pursue a bona fide star, such as Donovan Mitchell of the Cleveland Cavaliers or Trae Young of the Atlanta Hawks, team sources have told ESPN. Okay, let's stay on that for a quick second. Let's make my face a little bit bigger so you guys can see the emotions that I have. No, I'm going to, obviously sit on this one for a quick second. And Laker fans, you chime in at any time. Obviously, the comments, you put it in there, and I think it'd be great to get Laker fans' opinion. This is not a bad game plan. It's not. I'm not opposed to this game plan. But to me, there's some holes here, and I'm going to get into either one of those players if the Lakers were actually to try to make that happen and if there would be another team on the other side. It's not a bad game plan, big picture. Hey, save your picks and go make a big splash this offseason. It's not an awful game plan. Here's the problem, Laker fans. Here's the problem that I have with it. The problem I have is last year you were in the Western Conference Finals. This season, if you still got LeBron James and Anthony Davis, and we're going to kick the can down the road for LeBron for when he's 40, I mean, you're already, I think, playing with fire. He's already fighting Father Time, and even though he's throwing some jabs and some uppercuts at Father Time, and he's still been great, you want to take the risk of waiting another year to go make a championship run? That's the problem that I have with this game plan. It's not that I don't want to see a Trae Young or a Donovan Mitchell on the Los Angeles Lakers. The problem is, if you're conceding to this year, and in my opinion, if you stay put, you're conceding to this year. I don't want to wait a year. And I don't think the Lakers have the luxury of waiting. This isn't a situation where LeBron is, I'm just talking out of my you-know-what. They're not the Boston Celtics where you know that your core is young enough and you're going to be competing for the next 5-6 years. Every single year, it's critical what the Lakers do. Every single year can be the difference of the Lakers. You just don't know what the future holds for you because LeBron will be 40 and in his 22nd season in the NBA. So that option right there, it scares me because kicking the can down the road off a player that already is 39 is already defying what players should be doing at that age. We literally have never seen it before. That's an option that I'm not crazy about because I don't want to wait till the offseason. I'm going to come back to Trae Young or Donovan Mitchell if you are going to make one of those two happen, and if there's a legitimate chance to get them, which one's the right player. But let me do that a little bit towards the end. Let's go to option 2 here. Option 2 for the Los Angeles Lakers, according to Dave McMenamin's article here, is shake it up. Okay, shake it up means what? It means maybe you go after a move like Zach LaVine. I'm not crazy about Zach LaVine. I've already talked about I'm not crazy about him. But Zach LaVine is, hey, you can get rid of a couple of your current players. Yeah, you're probably going to give up a first rounder in the process, but you're not letting go of this year. And the question becomes, do you believe in Zach LaVine moving forward? Here's another one. This is the one that I really would like to see happen. DeJounte Murray of the Atlanta Hawks. Can you go make a deal for Murray? And listen, if the price is not right and you can't do it, then there's nothing that you can do. But DeJounte Murray for me on the Los Angeles Lakers, and if that costs you a first rounder, that costs you some compensation, some second rounders, it's probably taken away D'Angelo Russell. This to me is a risk that I'm willing to take for the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a risk that I'm willing to take also to have DeJounte Murray on this Lakers roster potentially for a couple of years. He's going to start his extension after this year. He's got a 4-year extension that he signed with the Atlanta Hawks. I'm okay with seeing DeJounte Murray on the Lakers short-term and long-term. 27-year-old that certainly has got the ability to go create for himself. A much better defender than what the Lakers have there at the guard right now, or at least that guard spot. I think he does improve the Los Angeles Lakers. So I think this option where you're not throwing away this season, you know this roster is not good enough to go make a legitimate run. This is where I lean. I lean more towards, not Zach LaVine, I lean more towards going to get a guy like DeJounte Murray. Like I mentioned, this is a player that you feel like could help you for the short term and then could also help you for the long term. Let me throw in the last option here. Option 3, Dave McMenamin put in here, which I still think the Lakers, this is something they're going to have to do anyways, but it's split the difference. Split the difference means you don't go out there and start giving up all these picks and you don't start giving up. It's not a blockbuster type of move. Do you go and try to go get a Dennis Schroeder? Do you go try to go get a Bruce Brown, who the Lakers were interested in, but we're having trouble trying to get Bruce Brown because he was going to go get paid in the offseason, and he did exactly that with the Indiana Pacers, signed a 2-year, $45 million contract. We've heard rumors about Andre Drummond, that the Lakers might have some interest in Andre Drummond because they're much better off trying to have some more bigs going up against Nikola Jokic, going up against Aaron Gordon, going up against the Denver Nuggets. They want to have some more size. So that's another move that you've seen right there, could potentially be in the works for the Los Angeles Lakers. So the question here is, you got 3 options, and the 3 options they're laid out here, I think, perfectly by Dave McMenamin. Option 1, stay put, don't do anything, go big game hunting in the offseason. Option 2, go try to shake it up this year and see if you could still kind of turn this into a championship roster. Go get a guy like, again, those are the 2 players that are out there, Zach LaVine, DeJounte Murray. Those are the ones that have been talked about the most. I would lean more towards DeJounte Murray. And then option 3, which I still think the Lakers can accomplish, I think they could do 2 and 3, where you're making a smaller move, you're finding a backup point guard, you're finding a backup center, or getting a little bit bigger, but still have the ability to also accomplish option number 2. Laker fans, I don't know how you guys feel, and I would love to read some of your comments. I could read it in the post-game show when I'm doing it later tonight. I could get some of your thoughts on what you guys feel about what the Lakers should do. But for me personally, and I'm going to go back and, I'm going to continue to harp on, I don't want to see a lost season. For me, it's not about, I don't see the Lakers right now. I don't like the idea of a lost season. I don't like the idea, because of LeBron James and where the Lake Show are sitting right now. I don't like the idea of the Lakers sitting back, kicking back and saying, well, and I'm not saying that that's exactly what they're going to do, but if they don't do anything, I don't believe in this roster. I just don't. And I think the 44 games has told me not to believe in this roster. I think that they're going to have to do something. And I think the reason why the Lakers and Rob Pelinka structured these contracts in the offseason the way he did, Rui, D'Angelo Russell, and Austin Reeves, even guys like Taurean Prince, some of these other players that they have, I think is, hey, if this isn't working, then let's go out there and try to make some kind of a move to try to compete this year. Put in your comments what you guys think. Which of these 3 options do you think is the best for the Lakers? And feel free to let me know from there. I'm going to go back to option number 1 and going big game hunting in the offseason. Travis and I, who I do the radio show on 710 ESPN, we're talking about, hey, Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell, which of these two people would you rather have on your team? I want to be very clear here because, I wanted to give it some thought. Trae Young, for those who don't know, 25 years old. He has 4 years left on his contract, so something to keep in mind. He's making $40 million, $43 million, $45 million, $48 million. But let's take this year out of the equation because the Hawks most likely would not trade Trae Young, who, by the way, I think is part of Clutch Sports, so keep that one in mind. He'd have 3 years left on his deal. He'd be 26 years old when he starts that deal. Donovan Mitchell on the other side, let's take this year out of the equation. He'd only have 2 years left on his contract. He would make $34 million next year and then $37 the year after that. It's a player option on that final year, so something to keep in mind in regards to that. I guess Trae Young does have an early termination option as well in his final year. So basically a guy that's got 3 years left and a guy that's got 2 years left. Which player would I prefer between those two players? I'll tell you why I would prefer Donovan Mitchell on this team more than Trae Young. First off, Donovan Mitchell and Anthony Davis as a 1-2 punch, and then when LeBron eventually calls it quits and, we'll see what Donovan Mitchell would do, you can use LeBron's money to go try to get another all-star. So basically you're asking, do you want Donovan Mitchell as your third best player in the short term, or do you want Trae Young as your third best player in the short term? I feel like Donovan Mitchell is at a stage of his career and to me is more all business that he would come to the Lakers. It would all be about winning an NBA championship. I like him as a locker room guy. I feel like he's a mature enough player, has gone through the ups and downs like he did with the Utah Jazz, has been a player where he was the best player on a franchise, went to the Cleveland Cavaliers, and kind of understands what it's like to be in some of these mid-market teams and would really, really probably love the idea and the concept of trying to win an NBA championship with two greats, two Hall of Famers, and he's still got obviously a long way to go in his career, hasn't even walked to his prime yet. Trae Young, which I don't trash as much as Travis was when we were doing our show, I think Trae Young probably would fall into the loves Hollywood, loves the, what Hollywood is. And what I mean by Hollywood is as in he's going to love being in the spotlight. He's going to love being on the Los Angeles Lakers. I don't know if winning will be the number one priority for Trae Young. Now, Travis hated the idea of Trae Young, and I will say this. I'm going to give Trae Young some credit. I think Trae Young got drafted by a team that hasn't been good for a long time, got to the Eastern Conference Finals, typically is in the playoffs, and Trae Young is, as best as he can, made it happen with the Atlanta Hawks. I just personally like the fit, and I think the attitude Donovan Mitchell would come in with. Certainly a player that doesn't mind taking the big shot. I mean, neither does Trae Young. Trae Young's hit a lot of big shots in his career as well. But I like the Donovan Mitchell fit better than I do Trae Young if this is something that the Lakers did in the offseason. Laker fans, I'll throw it out to you. I appreciate you guys tuning in on this just kind of out of nowhere pod here. But I had to get in. I wanted to make sure I got it in before the Lakers play the Clippers. Your thoughts, your opinion, appreciate it. I'll see you guys tonight. Thank you for being a part of the show. Great article from Dave McMenamin. I'm going to link it in here as well so that you guys can go to it if you guys want to read the rest of the story. Thank you. See you tonight. Lakers and the Clippers. No LeBron James. Tough game tonight. Thanks, Laker fans.